Good afternoon and good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to CappingTV. And we are proud to bring you the Dreamhack Masters 2018 Oceanic Qualifier for their little event in Marseille, which is happening in April. My name is Justin, aka Saberwest. We are going into a quarter-final best of one between Lucky7 and the Chiefs, and we are going to be going on to trade for this best of one. The way that this entire tournament is shaking out, we're at the last stages of best of ones, and then we'll be moving on to the best of threes, which are for the semi-final and the final. We're starting to have people file into the server and start to ready up. We have 10 here and 10 raring to go, and I'm expecting both of the teams to go hammer and tongs because we are on trade, which is a mainstay for both of these teams, and especially the Chiefs. They've had a very good run of it in the past. Lucky7 having an easier time to get here compared to their Chiefs counterparts. Chiefs did get here via a win, that being 16-9 of Team Gargoyle, which was just on stream. That was on Mirage. And Lucky7, let me try and look for the result. They had a game versus Big Nigs, and that was a 16-3 victory to Lucky7. So now, the first time in this, at least from what I can see, this is the first time that the map has been played on the road to the grand finals. The other maps that we've had are DE Cobble, DE Mirage, which is by far the most popular, and DE Cobblestone, based off of the information I have to hand. It'll only get tougher from here on out, because not only does the competition get far more fierce, the sets will end up going longer, because we do go to best of threes after that. And we are bringing you every single frag, every single ping, and every single hard-fought round on CappingTV, and we will thank you ever so much for joining us. We're waiting for everybody to ready up. The current counter is at, last I checked, we are waiting for 4 to ready up, so we're getting ever so close to our start time of, which was originally scheduled to be at 7 p.m. Australian Eastern. The 9th round is going live now, and welcome to this best of one on DE Trade for the Dreamhack Masters Marseille Oceanic Qualifiers. And let me run you down the starting lineups. On Lucky7, we have Zeph, Panic, Chris Wow, Animus, and Inject. And on the side of Chiefs, we have Pex, Techstar, Tux, Malta, and Sterling. Sterling being a Kiwi powerhouse. I would definitely be keeping an eye on him. And on the side of Lucky7, I'd be keeping an eye on Inject and Panic. And now they're going Shank, Hack, and Slash. And now we are even. One tap from either side can do it. Pex and Panic. Well, Pex will have to panic because he is all that is left. Intense stare down. Going around electric, and Panic will strong arm Pex, which will give Lucky7 the choice of side. And knowing the recent trends on Train, I'm actually expecting them to go to T side. Because a lot of the teams now are choosing to favor the T side to start and then finishing on the CT. No, that is not the case this time. Lucky7 have elected to stay on the defending side. Now we wait for the players to ready up once more, and we will be underway. We want to do a little bit of fragging in the interim. Name is Blazed Eagle. It's one of my favorite designs for these skins. It's one of the older ones as well. One of them that lasts as long as time, or something very similar. The only two left to ready up are Chris Wow and Pex. So one on each side. As soon as they are done with their formalities, the match is going live on 3, 2, 1. And the dialogue will slowly go away. And we are live with the opening pistol round. Lucky7 versus Chiefs. The winner will go on to the semifinals of the Dreamhack Marseille Oceanic Qualifier. Now it looks like 4 members of Lucky7 have decided to armor up. Make that 5. We have a fully armored CC side. And on the C side, we have only 3. 2 flashes and a smoke on Tux, and a smoke and a Molotov on Malta. Perhaps wanting to do a full-on blunt force hit into the B side. 2 members have moved out in the brown holes, that being your number 7 man of Texter. Starting to gather outside the brown holes, as a matter of fact. Could be spilling out into the B side. They do have 2 lines of defense on the side of Lucky7. And then this gets deleted by Texter. Starting on the right side. Zep does square the ledger by taking out Sterling, but the bomb will be down. The manpower is even. Zep up top though. So we'll have an advantage there, but Pex will send Pang to the grave as well as inject. But Zeph will keep his spirits high. Now we're 2 versus 2. The bomb is being set on by Zeph. Walter did tag, but no frag. Will Tux finish his handiwork? Yes, he will. And now Chris O'Wow in a 1 versus 2. The time is out, and so is your HP. Chiefs will win the opening pistol round with 2 men surviving. Sadly, a little bit of a fumbled positional advantage there from Lucky7. Did leave himself a little bit too open on the high ground, the 2 members that were on the train and the scaffolding on the far side. Now 3 subs, the Galil, and the Mac-10, which will be the bread giver for the Chiefs. The umps on Malta and Sterling could be carried over in the near future. Lucky7 have decided to buy in. And for some weird reason, I'm unable to bring up my scoreboard. So it makes things a little bit difficult. Cool. A little bit of a stalemate now. We're moving into 1 minute 9. Panic has his eyes straight to the high ground. Will one dig Pex? Adamus will send Sterling to the bench. Tux will let Mac Daddy go and take out Panic. Manpower in favor of Lucky7, but the bomb will go down. Now it'll put Lucky7 on the clock and have it to get them moving. Tux is very low. You could breathe on him and it would drop. Zep seeing the shoulder and taking him out with the scout. But the Galil of Texter ringing out with 2. They'll have to get a 3rd on Chris. Getting close! 7 HP was all that stood between Lucky7 and a round win, but it was not to be. But 2 to the favor of Chiefs. Zeph definitely not making it easy for them though with 4 frags in 2 rounds. So I want to keep an eye on him, but Tux being the bread giver and Texter being the heavy hitter. Lucky7 not being able to buy in, so this will be a mere formality from here on out until the first gun round, which will happen very shortly. Matches around the rest of the bracket for the open qualifier. There was a 16-0 whitewash, which had a very hilarious name of Settling Academy. I really hope that they would have a better impression, but sadly not today. I just had to bring that up because the team name really has some staying power, if only for this region. Malta. Zeph really making Malta work for it, perhaps making him a little bit foolish by taking up Malta and snatching his UMP. Oh, 3 versus 3 now. The dropped UMPs could actually come back to haunt the Chiefs. Takes it far away in Pop Dog. The only line of defense is being Sterling instead of aiming to contest the site. They're aiming to run away. Sterling seeing the manpower more, only inject is left. And all of a sudden done. Lucky7 will be very, very happy with that effort. Scraping almost everybody down. Having only one survive on the round previous, and then only 2 surviving into this round. So it's forcing a lot of rebuys and forcing the Chiefs to keep their economy honest. While the Mac 10 might not be useful against that armor, it could be of some use if Wow somehow just gets really close and shoves it in his mouth. We'll wait and see. Now the first gun round. 3 AKs. 1 Galil still being carried over, which is interesting. And the AWP on Sterling. Sterling being a heavy hitter and one of the standouts of his previous team, that being Riotous. Jack being the one to meet Pex in the brown holes will silence him very quickly. Stack on and pot though, with Galil moving downwards towards the A side. Malta and Techstar doing an interesting boost. Maybe catching the AWP of Inject off guard because he is on top of one of the trains. Maybe they've decided to second guess. Moving into 50 seconds. It's seeing the legs of Inject, decide to take out a couple of shots, but it's not to be. Sterling will strong arm Inject. So that was one of the big threats taken care of, but Wow and Zeph will silence 2 of the Chiefs, and now Texa and Tux all stuck in Pop Dog with nothing to do and 30 seconds to play with. Texa, my friend, you have come to the wrong neighborhood, says the members of Lucky7. Tux in a 1 versus 3. Does take 1, but that is all he will muster. Lucky7 scraping with that first round win and leaving Chiefs in a little bit of a precarious position. Do they buy back in? It looks like that is what they are planning to do. It will be a little bit scattered at best. Zeph being an absolute unit on 7 and 4. The heavy hitter of Chiefs being Texa at 6 and 1. 2 AKs and 3 power pistols. CZs are rather potent though, it should be forewarned. Only rifles left for Lucky7 though. The AWP was not able to be retrieved from the previous round, so it would be a bit of a shame to them because there's a giant investment that is gone by the wayside. He's spilling out onto the B site proper, just running straight out. Will take out Animus. Malta will take out Chris. Oh wow. Effectively pinching the CTs now and forcing their hand. Now the bomb will go down. Texa will get inject, but Zeph will avenge him. Tux for the site. We'll put the Pizza 50 to work and take out Panic. Breathe on Pexity would drop, but Zeph, much touted heavy hitter, is silenced by Malta, and after all that, Chiefs are back on their winning ways with having 3 survive and 1 more to their name. Lucky7 do not have much of a choice. They will have to take 1, maybe 2 rounds to their name to get a decent economy going. So it will bring Chiefs to 6, barring any changes of thinking. Lucky7 are deciding to go for it. Guess if you're preventing the T economy from running away from you, and see the harm in it, there is no head armor on Animus and no armor at all on Inject. So if those two can get isolated, it could make it a lot more difficult for the Lucky7 defenders to hold. Chris Wow making good work with his P250, shattering Tux. This is still proving to be potent. While not getting any hits, it's just making the T's a second guess. Especially with a power pistol like that, you would not want to step in front of it. Three defenders on A. 2 of them moving out from Ivy onto the A site proper. The only defender being Animus is silenced by Pex. Could be the time to go. It has called the defender over, that being Panic, and Zeph is not too far behind either. Moving down to 45 seconds. The bomb is at brown holes. They're starting to set the execute up. The Molotovs and smokes are starting to come out. The manpower is starting to spill onto the site. Even manpower, but the weaponry is in favor of Chiefs. And Texas and Malta will thin them out even more. The bomb is down. One member is on 4 HP. One of the weapons has been salvaged, that being the member of Kuso Wow with the AK on his back. Sterling will say, enough of that. And take him down. Now Zeph and the Scout in a 1 versus 3 with Texas and Malta being heavily tagged. Zeph's taking the AK. Zeph can do this, but he is running out of time. Zeph does take down 2, that being Texter, but Sterling will be the lone survivor. They cut that really tight, but Chiefs will end up prevailing in that one and bring them to 5-1. And after that win, even though it wasn't a round win, it's definitely making Chiefs second guess after those types of strategies. The buy is very poor after all is said and done. Yes, they do have full nades and everything like that, but they do have a MAC-10 and a UMP. Maybe it's less crucial to them, knowing that there are no buys from Lucky7 whatsoever, aside from a couple of power pistols. But if this was against armored opponents, it would have been a much more dire scenario. Also, putting the stats, getting a 3k to himself. Thank you very much for walking through the fire pits. No, it was not 3, it was 4, but 3 in the kill feed in quick succession. Now the second gun round will commence. A very thin utility for Lucky7. Only 2 flashes and a smoke for Panic. HE flash and smoke for Zeph and Chris Wow. And the firebomb onto Animus, the incendiary grenade. I don't know where that will go. The big orb on the Inject. The battle will once again commence between Sterling and Inject. Silence Malta real quick. Making no qualms about where he's playing from. It's like outside of Pop Dog. Being Pex, Sterling, and Texter. Sterling is boosted up, looking over towards the train and then to Ivy. Is that behind the double stack? Inject's AWP name is making me wonder who and why. It won't make much sense, but it is funny to me. We're moving down into 1 minute. Chiefs on the back foot early with Malta going down. But not much has been shown. Two defenders on B, 3 defenders on A. They're starting to spill out on the side of Chiefs. Some utilities starting to go out onto the B site. It's being forced to second guess with the Molotov holding him back. We're down to 30 seconds now. This will silence Animus. Texas will take out Crusoe. Wow, the defense is being thinned even more by Sterling getting 2 onto Injected Zep. And now, in the blink of an eye, it is only Panic against 3 members of Chiefs and a bomb ticking away. I think it is all up to you now to stop the Chiefs' tirade. Texter, Tux, and Sterling. Tux has been silenced, so Panic is making a go of it. But Sterling, far too strong, getting 3 crucial frags. The AWPer singing loud and proud, saying, "The Arctic Warfare Collection is good in my hands." And it looks like a timeout has been called by Lucky7, which is the first of 4 2-minute timeouts. After that, you will have to kill off a very long timeout. This is very unorthodox. Because if memory serves, it is meant to be 45 seconds per timeout. However, use that time to break down what has happened. Zev being the definite standout at 10 and 8. It's keeping even, but Zeph and Panic definitely being the standouts for the defending side, but they are few and far between, and it really shows, especially on the side of the Chiefs. They are far more tightly packed with 9 frags for Texter, 8 for Malta and Sterling, 7 for Tux, and the only outlier being Pex on 5 and 6 Bs, keeping even. But well, after all that, what do you think will happen? I personally believe if Lucky7 does not get going, because they have not shown all that much, this may be a Chiefs runaway, which is very rare because in recent memory on Train, at least, they have gone either very tight or into overtime. So Lucky7 will have to pull their socks up and pull the lever on the ever-elusive slot machine and hope that it does come up all green and 4-leaf clovers and Lucky7s and all those types of references. We are down to 5 seconds. The Lucky7 timeout will expire. So round number 9, which is based off of their current economic standing. If it's a pistol force, I'll be very surprised. So that's what they're doing based off of Animus's buy. I've been had. We have only gotten 3 Deagles, a CZ, armor and smoke onto Animus, and a PT-50 on inject. And Malta being the forerunner, I would assume, on the Mac 10. No, he's the first to go with a crispy 1 Deag by Zeph. The Tux will sit him and inject out for the round, so it is the only piece of armor which is still standing. Panic will sit Pex out with a crispy 1 Deag as well, but that will be all that will happen. The 2 rifles and the AWP will survive, but you can't really rely on 50 Action Express meeting the skulls of your opponents to win your round. But it's definitely making Chiefs second guess. Now we move into round number 10. And yes, the full buy will come in after all these rounds and the loss bonuses therein. Have 4 rifles and the AWP on inject. The duel will continue. Coming out to brown holes. Inject whiffing a crucial shot. And Chiefs may be able to make him pay. Tux moving out, dropping Chris so well, but Inject is still alive. Not making pay just yet. We'll take out 2, but Tux will quickly silence him. Panic aiming to move in and square the ledger, but Pex will take out Animus. A 2 versus 2. And Lucky7's biggest chance yet to get around on the board. Zeph will be ripped up by Malta, but still standing. I'm taking him out, but now 26 HP is all that stands between Lucky7 and a round win. Pex, what can he do, my dude? And sitting on the bomb, but given his kit on his back, that will be the end of that. And a finally well-deserved round win for Lucky7. 8-2 being his scoreline. Yes, Chiefs do win out the half, but they are able to buy in. It'll be up to Lucky7 to try to string these together, because if they can't, Chiefs may end up in double digits and even further still. What about the rest of the qualifiers? But I'll wait for a lull in the action and we'll catch up with the rest of the games around these close qualifiers. This is looking to be quite intense. 3 have moved outside of Ivy. Animus and Inject being the only line of defense. I'm forcing Inject back. And Animus being told by Malta to keep quiet. As well as Texter putting a rimmed cartridge right through Zeph's temple. 3 versus 5 now. Panic being the only man defending the site. Taking out 3. And Sterling now versus Chris O'Wow in amongst that flurry of frags. And Chris O'Wow getting Sterling low. But low will not do it for you, especially against an AWP. Sterling holding the angle. And is far too unawares of Chris's presence. So that is a third, but it did come at a very, very steep cost. Chiefs are able to buy in, especially with the 6k on detect, they will more than likely be able to drop. 3 rifles, 2 CZs. CZ I've alluded to many a time on broadcasts how potent it can be. Rolling straight in towards Pop Dog. I was hearing the hive of activity above him as the T's move out towards the brown holes. To do a double take, I thought Sterling was on the defending side. No, it is not to be. It would have been quite hilarious though, but no. Chiefs going really, really quickly. Not even a minute gone. They've spilled out onto the site. The bomb carrier of Pex in tow. Inject will silence Malta. Tux and Texter will thin out the defenders and give a safe passage for the bomb carrier of Pex to put the bomb down. And now it is up to Zep, Animus, and Inject. Not Inject anymore thanks to Texter. Zep and Animus will square the numbers now. We are down to another duel between Animus and Pex. And Animus will actually strong arm Pex and get enough time to defuse. Now a 2k for Animus, 2k for Zeph, and a 2k for the Chiefs Texter, which was not enough sadly. Another round on the board for Lucky7. But they're keeping it so tight. The CT economy relies on strings of rounds with more members surviving. They're only surviving with $4,000 or so to each other's names. Zep and Panic being absolute units on 14 and 13 frags respectively. And your heavy hitters on Chiefs are being Texter and Tux on 14 and 13. You have Salvage JK, an M4, 2 UMPs, and a second M4 for Lucky7. Decent utility. To go. Amos and Chris O'Well getting a cheeky frag onto Texter while quickly retreating and not taking much damage for it either. So that's definitely seized the Chiefs attack up for the time being. And with the bomb carrier, all 3 Chiefs members now stuck in brown holes with not much to do after Inject will silence Malta. Lucky7 starting to claw things back. Sterling will silence Chris O'Well. Say, yeah, that's enough of that, mate. You're taking out too many of my mates. I don't like that. Perhaps thinking a defender would be under Pop Dog. He is not going to find much, I'm afraid. But full utility and a little bit of time on this side. A UMP as well, which could be deadly in close quarters, depending on where the bomb goes. The bomb is running out of time, though. We're running down to 30 seconds. And it's looking towards the T connector, but Pex will rip his head clean off. 25 seconds now. The bomb is moving out from... I really hope nobody saw what Tux just did, because he had done a pretty bad boo-boo. And it could cost them the round, but Pex will... hopefully square the ledger for him. The bomb is going to be moving on to the B site. We are down to 5 seconds. The bomb is down. Lucky7 is on the clock. The manpower is even at 2 versus 2. Being held out for even longer thanks to the Molotov. Zeph and Panic together towards Z. Using the buddy system. But Pex, Tux and Sterling are far too wise to it, knowing the buddy system would be in use, and they bring the Chiefs to 9. and leaving Lucky7 in all sorts of disarray. Looking at their economy, even if they force up, it will be very, very thin. And it will bring Chiefs double digits, and the best that Lucky7 will be able to hope for is a 10-5. The Scout and the armor is being bought up. Scout and Deagles are nothing but smokes and flashes on the side of Lucky7. So they may be expecting a little bit of aggression, maybe aiming to make the Chiefs pay. They've letting the Deagle try to go to work. Only get one before being sent to the grave. No one digs either for the rest of the members of Lucky7, at least for Animus. Only Chriso, Wow, and Inject are up and Adam. Inject making Sterling look really foolish on top of the trade. Inject will need a lot more than that, especially with his compatriot being taken out, and Texter will silence him and put a cap on it and bring Chiefs to double digits. Now the only round left is a very, very ropey buy at best. It is oceanic tradition for the very ropey, low-grade buys to be bearers of unseen fruit. So who knows? Perhaps Lucky7 will be able to get this to 10-5. It will rely a lot on aim and usage of utility. Sterling will have his head ripped off by a 50 Action Express. So that's what the Chiefs to bear early. Chris O'Well moving very far forward towards the brown horse, but Texas will have none of that. Bomb is still actually down in the brown holes. If Chris O'Well was able to call that, it could have been a huge piece of intel. It's not to be. Animus will silence Malta and power in favor of Lucky7. Perhaps seeing the shoulder of Tux aiming to one Deegan, not to be. Inject will sit Pex out. Now a 2 versus 1 in amongst that quick flurry of frags between Panic, Inject on the side of Lucky7, and now Texter is all that remains for the side of the Chiefs. The weaponry will definitely favor Lucky7. Texter making Panic, well, Panic and lose his life because of it. He's currently on 2k. We'll have to get 3 to save this round for the Chiefs. Inject moving in from Z and onto the B side proper. Does not have a kit either, so you will have to get a little bit of a wriggle on. Knowing that one of them will be up high, has thrown a Molotov to prevent his advance, but Inject will torch Texter alive. The bomb will be defused, and that will be a 5th. I alluded to it at the beginning of this round. And it is exactly what happened. It is 10-5 in the favor of Chiefs at the change. On DE Train, you're watching the Dreamhack Marseille Oceanic Qualifier powered by CappingTV. I'm Justin, aka Cyberwaste, and we thank you ever so much for joining us for this matchup between the Chiefs and Lucky7. And now that the Chiefs have called a timeout, we'll actually cull around the lead, well, around the rest of the bracket. Well, what is going on at the moment? Well, in other matchups, Tended Minds has gotten the strong arm of LOL 123 16-3. In other matchups, we have Taboo taking on Corvidae and Atletico taking on Knights. We have Cobble for one of them, Inferno for one of them, and Inferno for the other. Ones we will bring to you as soon as we know the results, and we will know the semi-final matchups, which we will bring you here as soon as this match concludes. A long timeout. be honest, I'm not used to these being so long. We'll run you down your stats at a change. Texter moving in on 20 frags already, which is actually quite insane. Tux keeping it a frag around. Sterling and Pex moving a little bit before. And on the side of Lucky7, we have 16 and 15 for Zeph and Panic. They're your dynamic duo for this round. Chris O'Well not having a good day at the office, having only 5 frags to his name. 3 assists though. So make it that way you will. And 10 on the side of Inject. I really hope that does not feedback on the camera, but there is a dog. There's a dog yelping like mad. He says hello and wishes you all good tidings. What? Oh, there is a DC in amongst it. That would be why the timeout was called. Timeout is actually... Timeout has also been called. One of them is actually DC'd. I have not seen... Oh, he's faking it. Or something like that. I'm unable to see the ping, the current pings at the moment, but apparently the Malta is having an issue with his connection. But we will talk a little bit about the next stage and what these teams are all playing for at the moment. They are looking for a spot at the closed Asian qualifier for Dreamhack Masters Marseille, which is taking place in April. The main event in Marseille is taking place in April. The closed qualifier will be taking place in March, and all the matches will be best of 3. We have 2 confirmed attendees of said closed qualifier, that being Tai Lu and Boot Dreamscape. The brackets are indeed online if you need a little bit. Cool. Fantastic. Other matchups are, as I said, Taboo versus Corvidae, Atletico and Knights, and Tendon Mines versus Wall 123, which is just wrapped up. In Tendon Mines getting a quick and easy squash, a 16-3. Hope the brackets will be online and updated on HLTV and Liquipedia. That would be quite interesting because as of late, over the last year or so, the region has started to make waves, especially with the Boston Major taking 2 qualifiers. Maybe the trend will continue with the recently announced major in London, powered by, is it Face It, I believe? They're the ones in charge of the show there. He's back. We're back. We are back with the second half of this best of 1 between Chiefs and Lucky7 on Train. A little bit of a stumbling block start from Lucky7, but they did start to get a little bit of momentum. Will Chiefs CT's side be able to hold strong? We have 4 members of Chiefs being armored up and 1 having the smoking kit, that being Pex, and 3 members of Lucky7 being armored up and looking to do a really aggressive A-side play. Being an even trade of just butting heads. Panic and Chris O'Well will thin the defense out even more thanks to Zeph. Malta is the only one to frag, and now he is the only one that is left against 4 very angry T's. Inject will be silenced by Malta, but Inject will more likely be calling out a position. And Animus will be hearing him stamp around, and Chris O'Well will say that's enough of that, moving out towards the bomb site, and that will be 6 now for Lucky7, and that is the first round to their name in the second half. Looks like Chiefs are aiming to buy into this to prevent the T economy from running away from them. 2 Galils, 2 AKs, and the UMP on Chris O'Well with full utility in the nade carrier. Beware of that Molotov in your back pocket. Do not want it to burn your pocket out. moving out towards Brown Halls. A strong defense thus far. Focusing towards the B side. Aiming to keep the distance, especially with the scout in the back of Malta. Malta really far forward. Pex will be taken out by Zeph. It's the fight not proving to be fruitful so far. Zeph with 2 now. Being texted down, and Chiefs are caught way out of position. And they're starting to scramble to try and find their footing. But lucky for them, Lucky7 have not advanced. Panic sending the Chiefs further into disarray. Chiefs get the first reply thanks to Sterling, but that is perhaps too little too late. Crusoe, while being disturbed by a potential duel between Sterling and himself, and will be taken out by Tux. Luckily aiming to salvage the gun that was on Crusoe. Wow, that being the UMP. Yes, he will pick that up. And barring any shenanigans, the time will be too far gone. So the aim for Tux and Sterling will be to hang on to their weaponry. And it looks like Lucky7 are not wanting to chance it either. They are not wanting to advance. So the 2 AKs and the Galil will be carried over. For the Chiefs, they will carry over the UMP and the Scout. So all things considered, about as good of a round as you would want for Lucky7. Perhaps, obviously wanting more to survive. But if you are on the CT side, it could have been as good as you could ask for. 2 frags, a couple of weapons that got carried over. Not too shabby. Tux perhaps wanting to put that armor to use and silence a couple of the riflemen, but definitely the submachine gunners of Panic and Crusoe. Wow, Panic with the MAC-10 will definitely be paying dividends if he plays his cards right. Pex being the thinking man on top of the train and being left asunder by Zeph. Just a quick and easy plant. The aim, just judge off the economy, would be for Chiefs to remain with as many people alive as possible, as opposed to contesting the site. Panic is having none of it, but Malta will quickly take down Panic with a crispy deagle right to the skull. 3 members up for Chiefs. And they will be aiming to keep them alive, which is about as good as you could hope for, especially with the ump and armor on the back of Tux. No further casualties, it would look like. Looks like they're passing like ships in the night. Yes, they will have the members survive, which will make the buy for Chiefs all the more structurally sound. Full armor and utility for Tux, which is what that UMP actually allowed. And if Tux so desires, later on he will be able to drop a rifle for his teammate. The duel once again between Inject and Sterling will commence, but he has no utility on the back of his big Sterling. Picks one to Overwatch from the higher ground in heaven down towards the bomb train proper. And then defending the A site. Looks like a very quick A hit is on the cards. Texter and Pex are denying that. Quick Smart as well as Sterling. An Inject and the big green gun in a 1 versus 5. I would like you to try your luck, sir. But the bomb is down outside the pub dog, with Pex looking on it like a hawk and his compatriots in the Chiefs doing the same. Good luck, Inject. You have 55 seconds to survive with that, with the big green gun and the HE on your back. Sterling will take out the heavy hitter of Sterling. So his compatriot, his orb compatriot, is silenced for now. Let's salvage the orb though. MP perhaps not the biggest loss. Chief's essentially saying, we could do this all day. Tux ringing his shot off, but not connecting to him. Letting his presence be known, and Pex will put Inject out of his prolonged misery, and now that will bring Chiefs to legs 11 to Lucky7's 8. Have a quick squiz at the rest of the tournament in this soon to be round. No, the rest of the matches are still going on, so we do not know who the potential semi-finalist will be, who the potential opponent will be for this match's winner. We have a double op set up. Chiefs definitely want the double turret, so moving in towards the brown holes, has definitely caught wind of Chris O'Well with the Molotov flying right at his face. Making him want to run scared. Zeph moving out onto the A site and will strong arm. Text right there. Text will square the manpower. So long as the two ops will stay up, they do have a fighting chance, but Pex will be brought to bear. 3 men will be moving in towards the A site. One from Z. One of the ops is actually taken out by Animus, that being Malta's op, and now it's 2 versus 4 for Sterling and Tux to contend with. They're having none of it. They're bailing all the way away to the A site. To the B side, excuse me. The bomb will move into the A site. And Inject will punch in the digits. And it looks like Chiefs are aiming to stay far, far away. With the kit's utility and the orb being the big heavy hitter. The orb will be salvaged for the side of Lucky7, but it may just be a little bit of a conceded consolation for Chiefs. They just want to keep their manpower alive and just not have to buy any more. Looks like Lucky7 are doing the same. We are at a stalemate that will bring Lucky7 to 9. 4 men surviving, which is not something you would want to continue if you were the Chiefs. That does remain to be seen. 1 rebuy is not too big of a deal. 3 rebuys on the side of Chiefs, where the equipment is more expensive, mind you. It will be a little bit of a predicament. Looks like they're just buying power pistols and hoping that Tux and Sterling survive. Maybe they use the power pistols to eke out a round win. We have seen that happen before. An interesting hypothesis. Sterling letting that orb go to work early, taking out Inject. Tux will take out Chris O'Wow as well. Zeph, despite taking heavy damage, does take a body with him, but Sterling will silence him. He is currently on 2 frags for the round. The big green gun of Sterling. One that they let stay alive. And Animus walking through a Molotov has made the M4 and the CZ even more potent. Sterling on a rampage! Having 3 now to his name. Make that 4! The big Master Orb from New Zealand putting in a very sterling performance indeed, getting 4 to his name and striking fear into the hearts of Lucky7 and striking a 12th on the board for Chiefs. And after all that, if you're Lucky7, what do? You buy into it to prevent that from happening again. The double orb setup will be back in play for the Chiefs. 2 M4s, the AK, they're fully kitted up in terms of utility as well, so Lucky7 just aiming to get the bomb down, it would seem, just with the flash and smoke in their possession. Power pistols though, keep an eye on the deagles. We could be getting frag clips from either Zep, Panic, or Inject. Going out towards T-Con's. Texas definitely caught wind. Looking a little bit less likely. The bomb is on the back of Inject, and they're moving out towards Ivy and out around the train towards CT spawn. Malta's having none of it, taking out Animus. Pex on the bomb train has caught wind of Panic, and perhaps another man being the bomb carrier of Inject. Zeph caught the shoulder of Sterling. Does he finish off his food? Got close, but did get avenged. And only losing 1 man, that being Pex, has brought Chiefs to 13. Lucky7, you have got to get a wriggle on if you want to keep this match alive. They are throwing everything at it. They have 4 AKs, the AWP. Pretty flush for utility. To at least do a set execute onto one of the sides. Whichever side they choose is up to them. But the economy for the Chiefs is starting to balloon, and they will not let that stand the side of Lucky7. Outside the brown holes, perhaps wanting to sniff the defense. Balls has definitely said something is afoot by seeing a horde of buddies run right by his scope. In brown holes, Zeph is in the A site proper, and will only go 1 for 1. Takes out Pex, but Texter will quickly avenge him and finish him off. Evenly spread at a 4 versus 4. The bomb still in brown holes, floating above Pop Dog. Perhaps wanting to drop down and move into the more open A site. Down just past 1 minute remaining. Dropped down on the lower deck. The side of Lucky7, so it could be a spill out. Looks like the AWP and the bomb on the back of eject. Just wanting to go toe to toe with one of the AWPers. Definitely won't be Malta, he is on the B site. Still in the A side, probably will take out his counterpart. And the inject has definitely sniffed the Pop Dog attack and has taken out Panic as well. Now with 2 versus 4 between Chris O'Wow and Animus. Chris O'Wow will open up the B site, taking out multiple damages. Will attempt to be punched in by Animus, but Tux has caught wind of it. Now, Chris O'Wow, you were all those left, and now you are DEAD dead. Cue the game over screen from, is it Final Distortion? I'll have to remember that. But it is 14-9 in favor of Chiefs. You thought you were hot. Guess what? You're not. And you are going to have to eco Lucky7 unless you feel the courage to go for it. Looks like 2 Deagles on the side of Panic. And Zeph. Definitely the heavy hitters so far. Also, probably seen Chris O'Wow in his scope. Going to fall back a tiny bit, but not too much. To keep it the sight line, Texter above the A site will open things up on the. Now, Panic and Pex in a duel, and Pex will get the better of him. To prevent match point, like I said, we'll have to work very hard. Zeph will have to pull out heroics like that, but he won't be able to do that from the odd the grave. Now only inject is left. Yes, you may be a sharpshooter, but you've got a Glock. May as well be throwing some peas at your opponents of the Chiefs. And we're at match point for Chiefs ESC against Lucky7 Gaming and booking their ticket towards the semi-finals. I'll have to throw everything at it. They are loaded for bear to keep this going. Lucky7 will have to hope for overtime, and knowing T-sides on train, it is very possible. Do not count them out just yet. But Lucky7 obviously cannot step a foot wrong, or it is game over. No trip to France for you. Malta and Pex, excuse me. Pex me very far forward in Ivy, and will be rewarded with a frag onto Panic. And not much damage either. Zev sneaking his way out into the A site will take a lot of damage. We'll take out Texas, but Sterling will finish the frag that Texas started, and Tux will also take out Eject. 2 versus 4 for Animus and Chris O'Wow. Good luck. They're all counting on you. Animus catching Tux completely unawares. So it's not over yet, not by a long shot. Sterling seeing the shoulder of Chris O'Wow will sit him down thanks to the AWP. And Animus and Pop Dog will get into a duel with Pex. They've crossed paths, and that is not to be. Animus on the A site proper will take out Malta, as a matter of fact. The bomb will start to go down. One member at Z, one in hell for Animus to contend with, and Animus eating a nade for breakfast. Pex on 40 HP. Sterling passing Animus like a ship in the night. Perhaps not even seeing him. Animus catching Sterling completely unawares. There is a kid on the back of Pex, so he does have that to an advantage. But the rimmed cartridge of the AK-47 will meet Pex at the temple. And the 1 versus 2 for Animus will keep Lucky7 alive in this qualifier. 16, now 15 for Chiefs, is a 10 now for Lucky7. They are breathing, but only barely. As I said, they could not put a foot wrong, and it relied on Animus's heroics in a 1 versus 2. The 5 looks like a 6 if I squint hard enough. Zeph will take out Texter. Tux will avenge one of the members and take out Chriso. Wow. And perhaps catching ear of the bomb carrier being moving about. Animus being the hero still taking out Pex. It's being the only line of defense so far. The only line of defense left on the A side proper will take out Zeph. Now 3 versus 2 down. 2 versus 2 thanks to Tux. Yeah, inject. Panic coming in from Ivy, maybe catching both CTs unawares. Someone's caught lip of it. I'm very sure. No, it is not to be. Animus will take out Pex. Now Malta and Animus in a 1 versus 1. Will Malta book their ticket to the semifinals? They've almost passed each other in the smoke. Animus retreating. Has Malta picked up the sound cue? The bomb has not actually gone down. He's had to retrieve it. This is very interesting. The bomb carrier is actually moving towards the B side proper, forcing Malta's hand. Just knew for sure the bomb would be going down in A. No, you have been had. The duel will continue. Unfortunately, 13 HP is not enough to save you. Animus being the hero again. A 3K for him to keep Lucky7 alive and breathing, alive and kicking. Put one more coin up on the machine, he says. I've still got fight in me yet. 11 now for Lucky7 to the 15 of Chiefs. Chiefs are aiming to buy in. They're aiming to pack up and move on to the semifinals, where they will face the winner of Corvidae and Taboo, which is a match that is still in progress as well. Only one member is brought in, that being Tux. Yes, he has been the hero thus far, but he only has an M4 against a fully kitted up Lucky7 squad, which is definitely the hardest that the Chiefs have been tested. Chris O'Wow will sit out Malta. Texter will get a crispy 1D to Chris O'Wow. The 50 Action Express putting up dividends. And Pex with the CZ75 will silence the hero. No more fairy tale for you, my friend. Now with 3 versus 4. Moving down to a minute remaining. Carrier moving out of the A site proper. Some utility going out, hopefully to pull the defenders over towards the B site and perhaps making enough noise to pull a member over. The bomb will go down on the A site, which puts Chiefs on the clock. And Panic will sit out Sterling. Inject will get to the big fat collateral. Thank you very much to 338 the Poor, putting in work. And now Pex in a 1 versus 3. The desperation play may set in, but he is moving as far away from the bomb as he can to perhaps retrieve a rifle and let Lucky7 keep living. And it will now go to 12 for Lucky7 in favor of The Chiefs, who are on 15, still on match points. And Lucky7, dare I say, becoming so strong. At least if this is any indication, they are still living after being on the verge of death. And Panic and Zeph moving on, as a matter of fact. And 2 members of Chiefs moving in on 30 as well. Zeph requiring 2 to get the illustrious 30 to perhaps keep Lucky7 alive. They're fully kitted up on both sides. This is about as even as you could ask for. 4 rifles and the AWP on the back of Sterling and the back of Inject on both sides. The M4s for the CTs of Chiefs, the AKs for the Terrorist side. Going 1 for 1 so far. The Sterling AWP ringing out, taking out Zep as well. And Tux taking out the hero of Animus. Inject letting the AWP still ring true and be a big threat. But it may be all that is left. 39 HP, now 0 HP is all that is left. And now Chiefs will advance to the semifinals, getting a 16-12 win on Train versus Lucky7. And that will bring them 1 step closer to the closed qualifier for the Dreamhack Masters in Marseille. This current qualifier is powered by So Strong, and we thank you very much for joining us here on CappingTV. My name is Justin, aka Cyberwaste, and I would thank you all for joining us. That is 16-12 in favor of the Chiefs. They advance to the semifinals. We shall return very shortly.